Hello, and welcome to another podcast of Hello to Healing. I'm one of your hosts, Michaela,
And I'm the other one, Michelle.
and today we are going to be talking about trapped energies, what they are, trapped emotions, and how to know if you have them and how to get rid of them using products like the harmonic egg, like that's behind us right now, and also doing another type of therapy that we also have is called the body code. So we're kind of just get started and talk a little bit more about trapped energies. So to start us off, what is a trapped energy or what I like to call trapped emotions? So essentially, there are different types of trapped energy that can get in the body. A trapped emotion is an emotion, like we all have throughout our lives, that is not processed. Now, what does it mean when an emotion is not processed? Essentially, what's happening is you experience a specific traumatic event, or it could have been like you lost your car keys and you got frustrated and angry. And because of that situation, you weren't allowing yourself to feel that emotion. And so you kind of push it to the side or press it down and put it down. And in that result, what happens is it gets trapped within the body. Now, where does it get trapped? It can be in many different areas of the body. And so, because of that, it can cause issues over time. Now, on average, most people have around 150 trapped
Wow,
emotions.
that's a
So
lot, isn't it?
it's a lot. Yeah. So that's on average, just depending on what kind of life,
Crazy.
yeah, what kind of life you live is around 150. We do have a bunch of other kinds of trapped emotions, which we're not really going to get into the different kinds of trapped emotions, but essentially just the general idea of what trapped emotions are. Do you have something to add, Michelle?
Yeah, we often think, oh, I went through that experience. I got this handled. I've got past it. I'm doing great. And yeah, and maybe you are doing much better. You've worked through things, but it's still trapped. And usually what happens later on, I don't care, it could be 6 months, could be 6 years. Something comes up and it is related to that emotion that got trapped. You didn't really let it go. But the process of letting it go is actually easier than you think. We make it really seem like, oh, I don't know, I don't think I can do that, but you can. So if you think you don't have trapped emotions, you probably do.
Yeah. So one of the things that we can understand, one of the things we can really understand about trapped emotions is that you are human,
Hmm.
and through our human experience, you are going to have a trapped emotion. It's inevitable. It's just part of the human experience. And because of this human experience, emotions serve us for a purpose. They are there to allow us to feel, and they are a gauge to help us understand what's actually going on internally inside of us. Now, through most societies in the world, I can definitely say we are taught to suppress and put
Hmm.
our emotions to the side. And because of this, especially men are very much so put down a specific level. So I can tell you that definitely allowing yourself to feel these emotions, to allowing yourself the space and the time to feel cry, allow yourself
Right.
to feel that because that is actually a form of processing that emotion or that emotional trauma that you are going through. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how do you get rid of a trapped emotion? And also, how do you know you have trapped emotions? The best way I can say to know if you have a trapped emotion is if you think back on a time that was either a traumatic experience or something not so traumatic. But when you think back and you visualize yourself in that moment with the people or whoever in that situation, if you can feel that emotional tie or that connection to that situation and it's coming up, you can feel it in the body. The body starts reacting. Because of that, that's when you know that you have a trapped emotion because that energy, that emotion inside of you is coming to the surface. So, do you have something to add to that?
Um, Covered that pretty well. You need to become aware.
Hmm.
And sometimes we go, oh, I just don't want to feel. Well, you are going to feel. And you need to become aware of what your body is telling you. That is probably that trapped emotion that's creating that. So awareness is key. So after you are aware, then you can process it and get rid of it, which
Hmm.
is important.
Yeah, exactly. Let's kind of go into what exactly is processing these trapped energies and emotions. So, one thing we can do is do something with something I like to call the body code. And the body code essentially is a process that was created by a doctor called Dr. Bradley Nelson. He is originally a chiropractor, and he developed a whole process where we can identify those specific emotions because an emotion is an energy in motion. It quite literally is a frequency tied to a specific word. So, for example, if I were to identify anger in someone's body, I can identify it, have the age specifically that that happened, and even down to maybe who it's related to or what it's connected to. And by doing that and identifying it, I am connecting to someone's subconscious mind. You can do it on yourself and connect to your own subconscious mind because your subconscious is a computer. It knows everything about you more than your actual conscious mind. So it is such a beautiful process to know that we have this capability to identify what's actually going on internally and energetically releasing it. So, how we release it in the body code, what I do is we take a magnet. A magnet is a great tool that can help neutralize the energy in the body, which is why there's a lot of magnet therapy as well that's been used
Absolutely.
for a very long time. And so I do something and I swipe over something called the prime meridian, which is an energy center that goes throughout the whole body, neutralizing it. So that's really what I do for my body code sessions and with my clients specifically is identifying what is actually connected to your chronic issue, the pains you're experiencing, even mental blocks, emotional baggage, things that you're just can't figure out how to move on or move forward. That's really what we're working on and clearing from the body. So that's one way that we can do it. Do you have a talk a little bit about our egg?
So an harmonic egg is another way to get rid of those trapped emotions. Basically, you sit in this chamber and you are bathed by light and sound. And light and sound are frequencies. And emotions affect the cells in our body. So light and sound help to connect with those cells to help you release the emotions. It's probably one of the most beautiful things to do as far as relaxing, but it also helps you in a spiritual way. You know, you're in there, you're bathed by this, and you are just one with yourself. And in that point in time, a lot of things can come up. So it's a point where it can come up, you're aware, and you also can release it. So again, it's frequency based, it's energy based, and it's just another way for you to get rid of those emotions and kind of detox your body, which is so important. We need to make this part of our healthy choice
Mhm.
to do
Mhm.
for ourselves.
Mhm.
Because if you don't address those emotions, they eventually will affect your body. There, it will happen in time.
Mhm.
So these are just two options. There's other modalities, but these are all two options that we are doing here at our center.
Mhm.
So
Now, what if you don't have these options? What if you don't have the egg or someone to do, a body code session on you? How do you know? And what can you do on your own to clear trapped emotions? Well, actually, you can do it on yourself, by yourself, and you don't need these specific tools, but essentially, these are very helpful tools for that reason. But you can clear it by letting yourself feel those emotions, like we said earlier. And how do you do that? Well, consciously, there are things that we know have happened in our life that maybe if you think back on it, don't feel that great when you think of it. Well, because we think we try to avoid those feelings related to those past events, you are still keeping those as trapped energies. When you can look back on an event or situation and not have that emotional tie in that way, have that feeling towards that person, towards that situation, towards whatever happened, if it's not the same anymore, then you have cleared it. But if you still feel connected, it's quite literally there still on the surface, very obvious to know. So, what you can do is do journaling about that situation, about
absolutely.
that feeling that you feel related to that situation. Not to say, feeling it all the time is going to be the healthiest, but to let your subconscious process what happened, to let yourself feel it, cry. Crying is a form of a physical release
Mm-hmm.
of the body, allowing itself to release it in a physical way. Sometimes you might feel, for me, when I energetically release things from myself, I feel hot or I feel cold. I even, can feel that anger, frustration. It's very natural, and there's a reason for your emotions. They're your guidance tool in this human experience, and it is so important for you to listen to those feelings. One thing too is when you moving through your life and you're releasing these trapped emotions, you become more attuned to who you really are. You're not allowing yourself and your emotions of the past to dictate the choices and who you want to be now. Because all there is right now. But if you keep living in that past sense of yourself, nothing is going to change, and you're always going to be living in that past version of you. And they're tying you down. So we need to let them go in order to move forward into a better version of you and a better earth as a collective. Anything else to say?
Very, very well put in the sense of letting it go. So awareness is important. Looking at different tools that you have. I mean, there is our modalities. There is also addressing this yourself, looking at it and feeling those emotions and not feeling vulnerable, angry with yourself, but just realizing it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
have those emotions. It's okay. It's part of being human, and to let them go and don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, every day is a new day, and you can have a new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of making you a better you, a more loving you, just just looking at yourself and saying, yeah, I have those, but you know what? I'm a great person, right?
And I'm okay.
And I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You only define yourself in this very moment who you are. All those past things don't have to define who you are as a person. They can either build you up based on the perspective you have, or they can put you down. It's really up to you, but no one else is dictating who you are except you. So the truth is who do you want to be in this moment? And who do you choose to be in this moment? So, this is why releasing trapped energies and trapped emotions are so important, because you just become a better version of you by choosing to not be held back by all those things that you were, if that
That's
makes
right.
sense.
You
So,
become that wonderful divine person that you really are.
yeah. So, if you enjoyed this podcast, which we hope you did, please reach out to us if you're interested in more about energy healing and kind of more of the modalities that we have to offer here at the Power Within Wellness. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.